So today we will discuss today about the mammogenesis. So exactly this topic comes under the female reproductive system and exactly under the lactation. Uh, So this lactation consists of mammogenesis, lactogenesis, and as well as cactopoiesis. So all together these things combinedly called the lactation. So to start the lactation thing, we should first remind the mammogenesis. So I think all of you are very much aware of the lactation physiology. So regarding this mammogenesis, this is the basic thing you can have. So in very this thing, under this mammogenesis, we have to read about the mammary gland, its development and how they can be producible. So the very first thing regarding I am just going to summarize this thing, like the after some hormones which is responsible for the mammogenesis, or you can say the these all hormones are responsible for lactation physiology. So regarding this estrogen, this stimulates development of mammary ducts and progesterone and estrogen. So these three hormones just stimulate proliferation of secretory tissues. So regarding the sensitivity of progesterone inhibition, being it decrease the interdependent increase in estrogen because they are work in antagonist way. So regarding the prolactin, corticosteroids, and growth hormone, these are asynchronous among them at especially during the calving period. So in nutshell, you can have that so many hormones that those are responsible during the lactation, but for development of mammary gland, which is very much required, being a parturition is going on of a specific animal. So we have to talk about the specific hormones and what are the things these mammary gland, what it means exactly. So being for mammary gland, you have noticed that these formation of mammary gland, it continues until the termination of pregnancy and overlaps till onset of lactation. So basically what the things is going on. The very first thing is the hyperplasia of the ductal and alveolar tissue, as well as there is the pigmentation of the nipple and the areola. So being starting to this mammary gland, the very basic things which I am going to tell you, that a mammary gland is an organ constitutes a female mammal which produces milk and that is utilized to feed their young ones. So these mammals get their name into the word, that is the mammary. Being mammals, they have called this mammary. So regarding this mammary gland, you have that in ruminants like cows, goats, and deers. These are known as udder, but in case of human, they are called breast. Okay, and the mammary gland in other mammals which have more than two breasts or two udders, or you can say the two tips, like dog, cats, and so many pigs. Like so many examples are there. They are also called somewhat dugs. That is DUGS dugs. So regarding this mammary gland, if we will talk about the origin, so basically this mammary gland origination starts from the embryo phase, and definitely it consists of three layers, that is the ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. So if we talk about the ectoderm changes, whatever the changes happening in during the ectoderm, So you can say that was the very first sign of development of the mammary gland. That is the ectodermal changes. And in this specific thing, the thickening of ectodermal cells is happening. And various changes are also occurs like mammary band, mammary streak, mammary line, crest, hillock, and mammary bud is going to be changed. Mean to say they are going to be mature. So some mammogenesis is also happening there in during fetus or fetal stage. So the maturation of this mammary bud, as you know, mammary bud, that is the primary stage of the mammary gland, or you can say the nipple, okay? So or tit. So this maturation of mammary bud coincided with the embryo when they are embryo or in the condition they become fetus. So the fetus, this is the reserved for placental mammals. That is the eutherians, also it is known as eutherians. Protherians might be you have known, that is a egg laying. So in this condition, the development of eutherians is also a like of fetus or the placental mammal like. The another term comes, that is the metatherian. That is this change in the mammogenesis occurs during the time of pregnancy. So here the basic thing is the primary sprout. That is, if we talk about the primary sprout, mean to say the mammary bud which develops somewhat and comes into the stage that is called as primary sprout. So basically it is destined to become an opening in the teeth. Mean to say there is a certain canal is developing. So these are called galactophores, and each galactophore is predetermined by primary sprout when they are performing or developing the primary sprout that determines the condition or the conformation of these galactophores. So these number of galactophores, they also vary among the species. So basically what these sprouts, when they get matures, what happens to them? So the very first thing is that they become hollow. That is canalized. A canal is there. Mean to say some canal is being prepared around the around the teat canal. So that will shortly develop before the birth of the calf. Basically, they contains fat pad, and they are more developed in the case of female in respect to the male. So if we talk about the epithelial cord, these are the some terminologies whatever I am going to discuss. So epithelial cords, these are the lactiferous ducts, and these epithelial cords, they gradually develop. They gradually develop and correspond to a lactiferous duct or opening in the teat, in a developed gland. When the gland is developed, then this condition arises. So this is all about the development of the mammary gland. So what happens when the time duration in between birth to puberty? I'm not talking about only the of condition of which comes after the pregnancy. I am just letting it to be start from the birth of an animal, especially the female animal. So what the changes occurs in between to birth and puberty? So it have been noticed that these changes in the mammary gland were isometric development. You know very well, isometric development mean to say there is a similar type of growth of mammary gland in respect to the rate of body. So length of this period is also vary among the species, and this the size of gland that is also increase or decrease in connection with various development fat pad and connective tissues. So you can have a figure like that. In case of cattle, it is the duration is between 6 to 8 months to get developed from the birth to puberty. In between these duration, 6 to 8 months takes place for the development of, you can say this, the mammary gland. So regarding the duration which comes from between the puberty to conception. Puberty is the thing when an animal having the complete change in their body in respect to their first ovulation, successful ovulation you can say. And the conception is the time that when the eggs were fertilized with some sperm. That is the, so in between these period, what will happen? So in between these periods, when an animal attain a puberty period, then those female releases follicle stimulating hormones as well as luteinizing hormone. So these hormones, what they have provoke? They provoke the simulate or the simulation of ovary to synthesize and release various sex hormones. Like if we talk about this estrogen, so what is the exact role of estrogen? So basically it proliferates the mammary gland. Whatever the ducts they are, they just make it lengthening and confirming for the branch. So these estrogens, they causes the ductal system of the quarter to be multiplied, meant to say to enlarge or for branch. The another term is the stroma that comes under the udder, which increase in quantity, and large quantities of these fat there leads to laid in the stroma condition. So exactly you can say this growth hormones, adrenal corticoids, prolactin, insulin, they are needed for ductal growth because they have the action on these ducts to get reformed or to get strengthened so that after parturition, the whatever the calf they will produce, they can feed them. So basically, if we talk about the circulating estrogens, so being estrogen is compiled for the development of mammary gland. So whatever the level of estrogen is circulating in the bloodstream, it exactly acts on the gap junctions between the myometrial cells, meant to say the muscles, whatever present in the mammary gland. And they also provoke production of prostaglandins, which further increase myometrial contractile proteins, which is further going to be act on the act for lactogenesis. So there is also increase in the number of oxytocin receptors. So regarding this estrogen, one terms come there, that is the terminal end bud. Terminal end bud. What are these? These are the duct which elongates and branch at the actively growing end in the structure, that is the tip point of the teat. So these estrogen, these acts and perform the multiplication of cells at the tip of the this terminal end bud. Why it is required? To let down the milk, and there is a formation of or कह सकते हो there is a regulation of filter which makes the teeth not to be getting anything from the environment, but they have the process for releasing of the milk only to their young ones. So if we talk about the mammary gland stimulation by estrogen, so here that prolactin also acts as synergistic effect. Okay, and this also helps in the lengthening and the branching of ducts. So many hormones are there which combinedly acts for the act of mammogenesis, lactation, or galactopoiesis. So if we will talk about the long cycle mammals like cattle, sheep, goat, so in these animals, they exhibit the functional corporal lutea, which is responsible for the secretion of progesterone during the luteal phase. And these progesterone, they synergizes with estrogen, prolactin, and somatotropin. So that's why I have mentioned these growth hormones in the previous slide. I have mentioned these things: the growth hormone, adrenal glucocorticoids, prolactin, and insulin. So these things is responsible under the long cycle mammals. So you can say the very first in after parturition stage, during first several cycles, these duct just acts on the lengthening, branching, and eventually a differentiation. You can say add in differentiation into lobules and alveoli. Mean to say they are just developing these lobules and the mammary alveoli so that there the milk can be collect and they can be stored for the further release whenever there is a requirement of milk to their calves. So what happens if we tell about the secretion of milk? So I think regarding this topic, we should have a short highlight on the cortisol. So when there is increase in cortisol, hmm, when there is increase in cortisol, this cortisol releasing hormone, they secreted by the fetal hypothalamus, which increase the level of cortisol. Mean to say the fetus itself regulates the control or regulates the cortisol level. So this CRH, that is a cortisol receptor hormone, this is secreted by the fetal hypothalamus, and this also increased placental production of cortisol releasing hormone. So this increases, at last, this increases circulating adrenocorticotropic hormone in the fetus. So basically, this is the basic role of cortisol to stimulate the level of adrenocorticotropic hormones. If we'll talk about the progesterone as detailed, these act synergistically with estrogen for growth of the mammary lobules and budding of alveoli, exactly. And the development of this progesterone is also a secretory characteristics in the alveoli cells. So if we talk about the development of mammary gland, I mean to say how these hormones, they are responsible for the development. Development means not only the lactation, but also the mammogenesis as well as the galactopoiesis. Mean to say there is certain amount of milk which is going to be produced, and for production of these things, the factory, that is the alveolar ducts, And regarding various different organs, you can have this in the picture. That is a sagittal section of a teat. This is the picture of a duct system and how this milk is going to be secrete and form, and you can say eject or laid down. So in this very picture, you can have an anatomical picture of this one teat. You can say one udder having alveolus, secondary tubules. These are the mammary duct. These are the lactiferous sinus, lactiferous duct. This is the teat. Here it is the alveolar. Here is this is the dilated alveoli. So all the things have a specific function. So basically what happens? Most of the hormones, exactly you can say the combination of estrogen and progesterone is responsible for the development of these things, these ducts and the alveolus and these tubules. Okay. So what happens in the duct system, especially in the lobule? It is a connective tissue material which consists these alveolus. This is a secondary tubules. This is a mammary duct. This is a lactiferous duct. Mean to say, here the formation of milk is occur, and they also store the milk in the system, and they can pass wherever is needed. There is requirement of blood to the young ones. These storage capacity is going to be let down of the milk via the secondary tubules, the mammary duct, and the lactiferous sinus via lactiferous duct to the nipple, and from here the young ones or the newly born calf, they can have their mother milk. So regarding this figure, you can have a very clear vision that this is the myoepithelial cells, and these are the small buds. These are the alveolar epithelial cells. Okay, so the milk is secreted from these ducts, and whenever there is excitation or initiation of oxytocin via the posterior pituitary, the oxytocin comes in action and it tends to release the secretion of milk. Okay, so this is the basic thing. But here what happens during the development of mammary gland? These are the things which comes under the mammary gland. But basically for development of mammary gland, the very first thing is the required hormone, that is the estrogen, because they are the primary responsible for proliferation of mammary ducts. Being a pregnancy, during pregnancy, the animal having the very low concentration of estrogen. At that time, the level of progesterone was very high. So this progesterone primarily responsible for the development of the lobules, and these estrogens are responsible for the proliferation of mammary ducts. So both the hormones is required for the development, or you can say the proliferation of the mammary tissues and lobules, alveoli, whatever it is. Here this prolactin, it is required for the development of mammary gland, specifically at the puberty. So this increased prolactin, so there is always a concentration of prolactin in the mammary gland, but increased prolactin levels and high levels of estrogen and progesterone, they cause lobulo-alveolar development during the pregnancy stage. And some other hormones like cortisol, insulin, and growth hormone, they are necessarily required for the mammary gland development, because they tends to aid various things which is required for the proliferation of mammary ducts, for estrogen, development of lobules of progesterone, because they are acting synergistically. So these things are also required. Here you have a small photograph, that screenshot. This stands when there is a puberty, the animal is in the puberty stage. This is a bird, you can say that is a mammary gland which is almost rudimentary. But when there is presence of estrogen plus progesterone plus cortisol plus insulin, growth hormone, and along with this prolactin, when they efficiently works, then what happens? The release, mean to say the formation and the release of milk is going on. So for the lactational phase, these are the alveolus. Okay, so this cortisol, when this added with the prolactin, and in the presence of oxytocin, the milk will eject from the alveolus. That is the lactational phase. This is the pivotal phase, how the rudimentary mammary gland will develop. So this is the first stage, this is the second stage, this is the third stage, lactation. And what happens during the pregnancy? You can have the clear vision that when the estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, insulin, growth hormone, and prolactin, they are together acting during the pregnancy, they tends to increase or develop the different lobules and alveoli structures in the mammary gland. So likewise, this is the prolactin, but I am not concerned so much about this in regarding the mammogenesis. So especially in mammogenesis, something is more, that is the, I am talking about only those things. So here, yes, this thyroid releasing hormone, that is the TRH. This is also required under the stimulatory control. But mean to say it acts as stimulation for the release of prolactin, which further aids to lactogenesis or galactopoiesis, you can say. So for synthesis and control of this prolactin, which is very much required for the controlled lactational phase, whatever it is required for the mammogenesis, lactogenesis, or galactopoiesis, these all hormones are essentially and eventually required. So this is almost all the things about the mammogenesis. So in later class, we will discuss about the lactogenesis and then the galactopoiesis. So I think this is over for this time.